Mechs are objectively badass and make whatever media they are in at least a little bit cooler, and one of the best, in my opinion, is Titanfall 2. Developed by Respawn Entertainment and released back in 2016, Titanfall 2 acted as a much-needed sequel to the original Titanfall, which wasn't a bad game per se, but suffered heavily from not having a single-player story mode, thanks to some downright stupid decisions, shall we say. Titanfall 2 sought to remedy that by having even better multiplayer than the original, on top of giving us some of the greatest FPS missions and one of the best FPS campaigns ever made. And for some reason, instead of following up on it, they went and made a solid battle royale. And now, I don't know, whatever the hell High Guard's supposed to be, but hey, I'm not here to lament the dumb decisions of a company that I know can make amazing games. I'm here to talk about one of my favorite games of all time. Welcome everyone to Titanfall 2.
I hope I can live up to the honor.
I hope you like that cutscene. That's the only one in the entire game, surprisingly. Though in this case it's because the game is shown almost entirely from a first-person perspective outside of boss introductions. Either way, we have the Pilot's Gauntlet, the level that introduces us to our mentor, Captain Lastimosa, who I'm sure has a long and prosperous life ahead of him, and he's only 2 days away from retirement. It also introduces us to our protagonist, Rifleman Jack Cooper, who surprisingly isn't a silent, faceless protagonist, but instead is voiced by the awesome Matt Mercer. He has a decent bit to say throughout the game, but he doesn't talk your ear off, which ends up allowing him to be one of the most enjoyable protagonists in an FPS game, mostly thanks to his interactions with another character we'll meet a little bit later. This level is just a tutorial designed to get you used to the controls, and a test room at the end where you can try to speedrun, which is honestly pretty darn cool. I didn't exactly have a stellar run here as I was getting used to the controls again, but I'd like to talk about an unfortunate reveal. You see, I only have Titanfall 2 on PC nowadays, and while you can get it on Steam, that's kind of a lie, because to play the game you have to install Origin. What is Origin? EA's awful bloatware, client, that allows you to play their games on your PC. It's awful, but it's a PC-only problem, so it won't strike it against the game here. That being said, there are workarounds you should probably exploit if you can. North Star Launcher. Look up North Star Launcher.
All done with the gauntlet?
I'm ready to see what's next.
Good. You're gonna like this. It's time you learn the other half of being a pilot. Titan. Let's go call one in.
After we try to call in a Titan, a mechanic you rarely ever touch in story mode, the training comes to an abrupt end and we get thrown into the first real level of Titanfall 2. This mission begins and we're thrown pretty much immediately into a firefight. You and some fellow riflemen fighting against a bunch of killer robots. This little scuffle will go on for a short period of time before a Titan arrives and you get your ass handed to you in a cutscene that's pretty awesome because it's entirely from the first person perspective.
Cooper, you're in bad shape. Hold on. This might knock you out, but you should be okay when you wake up.
Lastimosa, hostile Titans inbound. Apex predators.
Copy that, BT. Mercenaries. Stay down, Cooper. BT, let's go.
We have 18 hours. 18 hours until the Ark is sealed and ready for delivery. Oi, Richter! Leave the corpses alone, you sick bastard. We've got a job to do, eh? We make corpses, we don't clean them up. Let's go!
Well, things didn't exactly go very well, but Lastimosa still seems to be alive, so let's help him out.
BT, transfer authorization to new pilot. Link. Bravo Tango 7274. Trooper, take my Titan. Use my helmet and my jump kit. This is the real thing. Take care of him.
Never mind. And with that, we are on our own, and get used to it, my friends, because you don't see a lot of friendly NPCs in this game until its second half. But we now have our clear and easy to follow objective. Find some power sources for the Titan, so we'll stand a chance of survival. Thankfully, with Lastimosa's kit, we are able to see a possible functioning battery nearby, so we have our place that we need to go to. And along the way, you'll likely be attacked by the wildlife that lives here. These wolf enemies, well, they sure are something. This level in many ways acts as an extended tutorial, making sure that you've learned all the basic controls necessary, and now you need to apply the basics in a slightly more demanding situation. It's kinda like Pillar of Autumn in Halo, and I mean that as some very high praise, as this level is also really good. Now, going along the main path, you'll hear the lies and propaganda from General Martyr, as well as see some IMC soldiers. Sneaking up on one of them can let you stealth strike them from behind for an insta-kill, but honestly, stealth is optional for this mission because you can punch these enemies and send them to the fucking moon! Anyways, IMC soldiers are your basic grunts, being able to be down in a single headshot, but they have low health no matter where you hit them. However, they are far from harmless, as they can do some serious damage to the player. Outside of this first level where they aim like stormtroopers. After taking down some of these wolves and IMC soldiers fighting one another, you get the double jump, which this will be a great tool for traversal, but be careful, there's more robots firing down upon you. Keep advancing till you find your way inside a crashed militia ship where you'll hear a voice giving a rousing speech, and more importantly, one of the 9 energy cells Samus needs to fully access the GFS Valhalla. But I've played enough Metroid Prime 3 to know you only actually need 4 of those things to beat the game, so we're taking one of these back to our Titan. Now, getting back to the Vanguard Titan, we see 2 IMC soldiers talking about selling the Titan. I quickly removed that idea from their mind, along with the majority of their mind. With this power cell in hand, we're able to repair the Titan enough to bring him back online so he can assist us, but he can't really move yet. This is BT7274, aka the best character in the game, and we're quickly going to get to see why people like BT and Cooper so much as protagonists.
Has landed us far off course from our original destination. We are located in hostile territory. Be careful, we cannot stay here long.
You think we can survive through this, BT?
We have no other options. We will have to improvise and adapt if we wish to survive.
How long did you serve with Lastimosa?
Captain Lastimosa linked with me 973 days ago.
Sorry. You guys must have been close.
He was an excellent pilot and a good friend.
There's a lot of these interactions between Cooper and BT throughout the game, and you can choose how to steer the conversation, but it gives them some nice development, and if for some reason you hate fun, you can choose to just not interact with it at all. We see an IMC outpost, and this area is going to be quite the firefight. It's one of the few parts of this level that can be fairly difficult, especially for a new player, and by that I mean I died here twice by being greedy. A lot of that difficulty comes from the abundance of specters, which are enemies very similar to IMC soldiers, however they do not fear death, so they will kamikaze right into you. Though, the specters in particular can actually be hacked if you get up behind them and hold down the X button, or whatever the heck PlayStation controller is, and that way you can turn them over to your side for a meat shield who will last a total of 5 seconds. But hey, those 5 seconds are useful. Inside the ship, we have another energy cell, and now we have to book it back to BT, taking out whatever jobbers are closing in on BT, as we're going to hear the voice of a woman named Sloane wanting to bring BT in. Quick, how many times did I say BT? Once we get there, we're going to have our final battle arena of the level, simply fighting off a few enemies until you can get the final battery installed and complete the pilot Titan Neuralink, so we can finally begin piloting the Titan.
Protocol 1. Link to pilot. Establishing neural link. Neural link established. Rifleman Jack Cooper, you are now confirmed as acting pilot of BT-7274. Protocol 2. Uphold the mission. Our orders are to resume Special Operation 217. Rendezvous with Major Anderson of the SRS. I'm detecting incoming enemy forces. Protocol 3. Protect the pilot. Reinitializing critical systems.
We can't really move around at first, as this is a tutorial on how to use the Titan, and the game is giving you your different controls one bit at a time, which is good design by the way. But once these controls are more or less learned, the enemies are able to be dealt with quite easily, and it's time for the first real battle of Titanfall 2.
Pilot, enemy Titanfall detected. We will have to fight our way to safety. Get ready.
You sure about this?
Yes, trust me.
The Brute is your tutorial Titan battle in every sense of the word. He focuses on missiles and encourages the player to dash, but he can't really do much else as he only has 3 chunks of health, no shielding, and pretty low mobility, especially compared to any other Titan in the game and even other Brutes. This makes him a very easy kill, but it is pretty fitting for the tutorial battle. It's kind of like that fight with the Owens in Mech Assault 1 for those of you who've played that game or have seen my video on that game.
Well done, pilot. Our combat effectiveness rating has increased. Pilot, I detect more IMC salvage teams on the way. Our only chance of survival is to uphold our mission of rendezvousing with Major Anderson. Until then, you and I are on our own. Marking your HUD. We must move quickly.
The next mission of the game is Blood and Rust, which is going to show a significant increase in challenges. You're now going to spend more times in the Titan, which means more Titan battles and fighting multiple at once. And my sentence about being solo is kind of a lie here because we do have a friendly Titan pilot and a few friendly rivalmen in this mission, but it's only for a very small part of the level. Not too long after the skirmish outside is done, you'll find a weapon on the ground, and picking it up will reward you with a new Titan loadout. The Tone loadout focuses on heavier attacks that leave a mark on the enemy, and a special sonar burst which also gives every enemy around them a mark. You need to mark an enemy 3 times to unleash your missiles, and as for defense, they have a shield that can be laid down as a barrier, so it's always helpful. The Tone is less about balance and more about setting up the enemy for massive burst damage, which can make it quite the boss slayer in the right hands. I won't be going into the specifics for every Titan loadout, and for example, I think the Expedition is kind of the Shoto Titan or the honest all-arounder that you start with, but you're never going to use it outside of story mode. Still, it is a useful jack of all trades and has the decency to show up early, while I feel the Tone is actually useful throughout the entire game against bosses and heavier Titans. Getting inside the facility, you're going to hear the voice of Kane, one of the apex predators, who isn't very mentally stable, to put it nicely, and of course he's the obligatory guy who dies first of the mercenaries since we can't fight Blisk or Sloan yet, as they were the ones that killed Lastimosa, and Richter has had a little bit of build-up, so we need to throw away villain we can kill early on.
That twitchy merc doesn't care who he kills.
Get fucked.
Plenty militia left in the facility, just so you know, this is Kane's place. You're welcome to stay as long as it takes to kill him, which, by the way, not be long.
So a rule for Titanfall 2 is that the boss of the level will often be the one shit-talking you. In a weird way, it kind of reminds me of how Crash Bandicoot built up its bosses with them talking crap to you prior to their boss fights, or I guess the original Resident Evil 4, just without the comedy of their models standing next to one another. We have this hold the line sort of sequence where we essentially have zombie robots crawling out of the muck to attack you. The Spectres are basically just fodder to waste a melee kick on, but the Stalkers are no joke, able to hit you quite hard if you're not feeling ballsy. But if you are, you can quickly kill them with a punch followed up by a shot to their back to take them out in a 2-hit combo. It is dangerous though. There's this neat little segment where you're basically just wall running in a circle trying to ascend as fast as you can before you can find BT, but we can't link back up with him quite yet.
It's good to see you, buddy.
It is good to see you too, pilot. The controls to deactivate the sludge flower in the next chamber, marking your HUD.
Now, we have to turn off the sludge to get back with BT, but unfortunately, after we turn it off, it's going to take a while, and it turns into a segment I'm not that fond of because, well, it's a holdout segment, and this is where the tics show up. Tics are your obligatory kamikaze enemy of the game that every FPS has. Thankfully, they're not as common as I remember them being in story mode, but this is by far their most prevalent and the most obnoxious showing in the campaign. Really though, once you've survived this segment, there's not much level left between you and the boss fight.
You were not invited to Kane's party, and that's why you're dead. Well, another runaway hero with an SRS Vanguard class Titan. Woo! Now we're talking. Bring a knife to a knife fight.
Kane is your first true boss of the game. He talks in third person and calls people scrubs. I hate him, but thankfully his fight isn't bad. Kane pilots the Scorched Titan, but he's flanked by a Brute Titan. The Brute Titan is a non-entity that dies within seconds of the boss fight beginning, so the real fight is just against this big pyromaniac. The boss Titans stand out from others as they have their full toolkit, including core attacks, which you won't really see on regular Titans until a little bit later in the game, and those are essentially your super moves. On top of that, they have increased HP and the same regenerating shield that BT has, requiring you to play at least a little bit aggressively if you want to win, because the shield is infinite as long as they have the health to stay alive. Kane in particular focuses on explosive attacks that leave lingering fire AoEs. There's a good chance you'll be swapping between your two Titan loadouts as the fight goes on to suit whatever playstyle you prefer. Usually Expedition is better for taking down the shield, while Tone is better for doing actual damage. And there's always a case to be made for Tone being able to throw up a shield wall that can stop his fire in their tracks, but the increased fire rate of Expedition's machine gun can tear through his shields very quickly, and there's positives and negatives to both. Now, when a boss's HP hits 0, usually they enter a critical state where they're on their last legs, but this doesn't happen with Kane. Instead, he just blows the hell up and dies, but somehow his body and helmet are perfectly intact. Alright then. With that, we're now able to listen in on the Apex Predators conversations, and Blood and Rust has come to a close. Into the Abyss might just be the longest level in the entire game. Or maybe that's just because the game crashed halfway through and I had to replay a lot of it. Thanks, Origin. As the level starts, we're going to very quickly get a new loadout for our Titan, and the antagonist of the level is revealed to us almost immediately.
What are we doing here, BT?
We must proceed through this facility and continue to the rendezvous point with Major Anderson. It is our only chance of survival.
What is this place?
Accessing files. Unknown.
Ash, this is Blisk. A copy, over.
This is Ash. Go ahead.
Kane is not responding. I think our militia pilot's trying to be a hero. He's got to be headed your way. Kill him.
Understood. Ash out.
Who's Blisk?
He is a war criminal, wanted by the militia, commonly employed by the IMC.
So, the Scorch loadout is about... I don't know, to be honest, I don't use it. Yeah, I'm sorry to say, I have not extensively used every single loadout of this game in multiplayer or single player. I believe its focus is more on area denial and explosive attacks with the flame core, but I just suck at using it. We're also introduced to Ash, who doesn't have a face, I suppose. She's made entirely of metal, pretty much. There's technically more to it, but you don't really care. This level is interesting because you can actually play a fair bit of it on foot or in the Titan, and the level design remains more or less the same, just with the idea of how do you want to go about it. If you're in your Titan, it's going to be much more linear, but you're also near indestructible. However, if you're on foot, you have more options you can do, and BT will still be able to help you as he can fight with his AI. Be careful though, because if BT dies, it's an instant game over, and this level has you maneuvering through a few obstacles that can instantly kill you, so I would recommend just riding in him and not chancing it. While running through the level, I picked up a weapon known as the EPG. It's a surprise tool that will help us later. We actually have a very tough fight here against 2 brutes, a bunch of stalkers, and a Tone Titan. Normally, the brutes are kind of a joke, but when you're getting chipped away by the stalkers taking down your shield, they can become a lot more dangerous, and I try my best here, but I'm no Scorch main. The real threat of the fight, though, is the Tone, for one particular reason.
See you in hell, pilot. Salvo core away.
Detecting hull damage.
At this point, things got so dire I had to get out of BT and put him behind cover to pull out the EPG because it actually does good damage against machines, and Titans count as machines, so I just had to take him out on foot. It was terrifying, but it was actually a pretty cool moment, not gonna lie. Hey BT, you okay there, dude? You looking a little, on fire. Shortly after that fight, we get another loadout, this time in the form of Brute. If you want to cosplay as a Goomba, go ahead I guess, but in my opinion, Brute is one of the loadouts of all time. The spiral rockets look really cool, but I can't say I have much reason to use it when Tone exists, and in my opinion, it's the weakest of the Titan loadouts. Turning on the cargo lift reveals that it was a trap all along. Its Ash gets one over on us and captures BT, so now we're stuck on our own, and all that was just the first third of the level. Oh boy, it's a long one. On our own, we see BT getting taken away, and now we're going to be on foot. I'm sure this will be a totally normal and uneventful level.
Blisk, this is Ash. I have a Vanguard-class Titan. What would you like me to do with it?
I don't bloody care. Destroy it. What about its pilot?
He is being dealt with. This facility was built to kill. I'm sure I can take advantage of that fact if I have to.
Yeah, who am I kidding? This level gets downright trippy with some of the level design here. While we may be in a factory, it's a factory that's considerably larger than most game factories with giant crushing machines, massive conveyor belts, and the contraptions specifically designed to kill Squidward. The fights here can get kinda tough, and I hope you're ready for a lot of wall running because there's gonna be a fair bit of parkour here. All the while enemies start sending in the big boys that can throw out Tone shields, then take more hits to bring down because, I don't know, fat gives you body armor. Okay, that kinda makes sense. This is a bizarre level that doesn't worry about stupid things like realism and instead focuses on being a fun time, and I'd say it succeeds. At least when the tics aren't involved. Of course, all throughout this level, Ash is trying to cosplay as the Jigsaw Killer, with her trying to dispose of you in odd and unusual ways, while this conveyor belt is slowly assembling something. Be very careful where you're standing on these moving platforms, by the way.
Pilot, are you alright?
Barely. That was a meat grinder. You okay?
I'm undamaged. However, I do not believe this is a food processing plant.
With my luck, this place is gonna turn itself inside out.
Or upside down, considering the circumstances.
Well, maybe not upside down, but things have definitely gone sideways, so now we have to do some platforming with unusual level layout. Thankfully, between double jumps and wall running, it's not difficult, like, at all. Getting to the top takes you to a training room, except the training room where you're the target practice. So now we had to deal with waves of enemy specters coming out of the sky, so remember, you can hack them to make them meat shields. While the specters are easy, the soldiers don't really stand a chance because shortly after they're brought down, a Reaper will be unleashed upon you. These guys are basically like Barons of Hell, and while defeating one isn't too hard, the second Reaper starts spawning a bunch of tics which are basically guaranteed to kill off the surviving malicious soldiers.
I admire your perseverance, but it's dead.
Well, she wasn't wrong. Luckily, between your perseverance, BT's help, and Ash getting pissed off, you will be able to create an opening sooner or later and you can escape the Hell Room.
Tell me you killed that pilot.
I am dealing with him.
Stop getting caught up in your games.
Am I not allowed to enjoy myself while I work?
Not when your work suffers.
Point taken. Ash out.
Don't worry. With the price I'm putting on his head, you can buy all the toys you want.
Sector 4 Charlie. Detonate charges 21 through 29.
To all IMC personnel, this is Ash. I am sorry to report, due to your inability to contain the security breach, I have been forced to scuttle the entire complex. Some of you may consider this overkill. It is. I suggest you evacuate immediately.
Ash decides it's time to scuttle the facility and makes things more twisted and wrecked, adding to the area and a bit more demanding platforming than before. After some quick platforming, we're able to link back up with BT and have another Titan fight inside the training facility, but now the enemy Titans are starting to use their cores more often, with things like brutes making use of flight core to attack you. But ultimately, this last stretch of the level is about getting the hell out of here. I sure hope there's no obstacles that are going to impede us.
Blisk has put a high price on your head, pilot. Dead or alive. That makes you worth something to me.
Ash might just have the lowest HP of any major boss fight, so to make up for it, not only is she quite elusive, she's also very aggressive, which means she can be quite the threatening boss battle with her sword core and quick movement, but if we break her shield and set up a salvo core, then congratulations, there goes 70% of her health right there. The real threat of this boss fight, though, is all her minions in the arena, which can chip away at your shield, leaving you vulnerable to taking some massive damage from her and her sword core, or a point-blank shotgun blast. But when she hits 0 health, she'll actually enter a critical state. Gunfire can finish the job, but if you melee a Titan in a critical state, you can perform an execution.
You should not have done that, pilot.
Notice how we crushed her and she got atomized? Yeah, for some reason they bring her back in Apex Legends. I guess this means that either executing her isn't canon, or maybe she was just gunned down or something, but man, that's just kinda dumb. Anyways, we need to get out of here and find Major Anderson ASAP.
I have concluded we should take no further shortcuts.
Alright, it's time for the level everybody loves, Effect and Cause. Can I do it the justice it deserves in a segment in a video covering the game as a whole? Honestly, probably not. I would need to make a video dedicated to this level to go into everything so great about it. But I'll do my best. Anyways, this level is sort of the mark for the halfway point of the game, as we complete our first major objective to rendezvous with Major Anderson, and we've killed 2 members of the Apex Predators. Overall, I think it should be a pretty simple rendezvous mission. Or maybe not.
You're forgetting he's got ammo in his corner. So if he
Got a bad feeling about this.
The time disturbances in the area are a plausible cause of your ailment. Medical routine J12 suggests slow and deep breaths.
This area is undergoing some massive time distortions, and we're being non-consensually dragged between the past and the present like we're some sort of time stranger. Oh, hey, there's the Digimon we were looking for. Making our way through this place, we can tell things are very messed up, and something probably has caused some major issues to the timeline on this planet. We find Anderson, but unfortunately he seems to have no-clipped through the wall, but only about halfway.
I will analyze Major Anderson's helmet for mission-critical data. I recommend you retrieve it.
BT, I found Anderson. He's, in the ceiling.
Objective complete. We have rendezvoused with Major Anderson.
Very funny.
My intention was not humor.
Well, now we more or less have our structure for the level, having to find a way to reach the other half of Major Anderson's body while being jerked around through time. And pretty soon the residents of the past catch on to the fact that you're not supposed to be here and enemies start coming out to attack you. Thankfully, before they can overwhelm you, you're going to be warped away quickly, but who said the robots were all destroyed just because time advanced? No, instead we've now essentially got robot zombies on our ass trying to go om nom nom. One warp later, we get ambushed by two soldiers in the past. Killing one of them, his body's now lying there aged and decayed. Oh lord, we're really screwing with time, aren't we? After a loading screen, you find the other half of Major Anderson's body, and now your stealth field has been replaced by the time manipulation ability, and at the press of a button you can jump back and forth between the past and future, and now the level design and enemy placement will be altering to account for such. The world is your oyster, there's no cooldown, so have fun and get ready for some crazy stuff. We'll see more logs from Anderson as we learn more and more about what happened at this facility. The damage looks like it happened years ago, but this incident was not that long ago. But also, given how unstable time is, it doesn't take a genius to guess what all ended up happening here. You're going to be expected to swap back and forth between the past and present constantly to progress through the levels, parkour sections, as well as survive two different battle arenas, because the past is going to be filled with IMC soldiers, while the present will be filled with decayed stalkers and some prowlers that maybe want to tear your throats out. And then we learn the super weapon the IMC is making is quite literally a time bomb. The level's conclusion is close at hand once you get outside, but not without a fairly big battle. One way or another, BT is our best chance at survival, as all the wild animals and automated security systems are trying to kill us in fighting in the present. Meanwhile, in the past, it's filled with legions, 2 of them in fact, which will shred your health. So now you're going to have to time jump, but we also have to stay in the past in order to properly make it to the Ark and stop this super weapon. Which means we've got our mini-boss fight against 2 legions, but now your time travel powers actually carry over to BT as well, which is really cool. Don't forget to pick up the Ion Titan loadout at the end of the level. It's actually a personal favorite of mine. Once we extend the bridge, it's time to reach the Ark. And welcome to the moment frozen in time. There's no movement, there's no fighting, just you in the Ark core. You can't shoot it or punch it, so I guess we just gotta take it with us. We make it back, but unfortunately our time jumping powers are no more, and so Effect and Cause comes to an end. But now we know we have to get that arc because all we were able to do was scan its data. The real thing is in IMC hands, and given what we see here, it could cause a lot of damage.
Pilot Cooper, Anderson is dead, but we can complete his mission if we can re-establish contact with the fleet. The interstellar beacon ahead will serve our needs.
Let's hope someone on our side is listening out there.
There is only one way to find out. We must uphold the mission.
Well, the most popular level in Titanfall 2 is finished, so it's all downhill from here, right? No, of course not. What do you think this is, a 7 out of 10 game? No, we go from an awesome level to another awesome level.
I detect traces of poisonous chemicals within the fog.
What is this fog?
Scanning. The ground fog is a toxic byproduct of the beacon power grid. I recommend you embark when operating in hazardous environments with greater than 1 ppm tungsten hexafluoride. Embark and we will move out, pilot.
Thankfully, the poison only affects us on foot and not in the Titan, and we're going to be spending majority of this level high up in the air or in places not filled with poison. So, yeah, this level doesn't really have a gimmick as awesome as on-demand time travel. It's still got some cool tricks up its sleeve, and the poison isn't going to just be a bunch of deadly area denial bullshit that you have to deal with, so it's actually pretty fine. And for the first time in a good long while, we actually meet up with some friendly soldiers. We now have our objective to recover the arc tool, and it may surprise you to hear this, but there's basically no combat down here. Not to say that this level won't have combat, but the first major part of this mission is primarily focused around parkour. When you see a robot that keeps turning a fan off, you'll know you've reached the end, and after multiple failures and a retake those sort of wins, you'll be able to get up and get the arc tool from Marvin. Don't kill Marvin, you monster. With the arc tool, we now have a key that lets us flip switches with a gun. Well, really the arc tool is primarily a means for puzzle solving because its offensive capabilities leave something to be desired, as we can stun enemy robots, but it takes a while to kill any of them. But hey, the thing does have unlimited ammo, which is nice, and it's not like it's completely worthless in combat, it's just combat is not its primary focus is puzzle solving. Once we make it back to the friendly and malicious soldiers, we now have an objective to hit all the switches in a hell room, and by hell room I mean you're going to actually fry to death in there, so hit every switch and get the fuck out, and that'll pretty much cap off the level.
Great job, Cooper. The power is back. All right, we got power. Open those shutters. Let's get that beacon up and running. Opening shutters.
Diagnostic complete. Power 100%.
Initiate dish targeting reset.
Uplink targeting module. Reset initiated.
60%. 70%. 80%. 90%.
Warning. Fault detected. Emergency shutdown.
Great. What's going on? Talk to me. Not sure. Some sort of failsafe.
Captain, the uplink targeting module is offline.
Not good. I bet the IMC are on their way.
That is a reasonable assumption.
McCord, can we bypass the module?
No, sir. Not unless we want to send a message to the entire IMC fleet.
Then the module's gonna have to be repaired manually.
Pilot, this situation could use your skills.
I hope you're up for another trip to hell, Cooper. You'll need to repair the beacon on site and get back here as fast as possible.
Or maybe not. Yet we gotta repair some satellite dishes. Thankfully, these riflemen will be able to hold their own, so you don't have to keep going back and forth to babysit them, which is nice, because now we've got a lot of work to do, and we've also gotta go jump a giant gap.
My scans detect a functioning uplink targeting module, 428 meters northeast. My analysis indicates a throw is our only option here. I can throw you across the gap.
Are you sure about this?
Wind, 3 knots, heading 274. Range, 95 meters. Projectile mass, 89 kilograms. Trust me.
Good throw.
You're welcome, pilot. Good luck over there.
Richter, this is Blisk. Ja, hier ist Richter. That damn...
Of course, it isn't that easy. We've got enough enemies in the second half of the level to more than make up for the lack of combat in the first half. That being said, this level focuses heavily on parkour and moving around machinery to make parkour tracks as well, but I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I personally think this is the hardest level in the game by quite a bit, and a lot of the enemies here can get downright nasty with the formations they come at you in. You can't really stay hunkered down in any place here because you're going to be getting flushed out by the enemies. It's a whole lot of getting shot in tough arenas with Spectres and IMC soldiers, but wait, because Reapers are also ready to join the fun as well, and I ended up dying in this level more than any other in the game because, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the arenas are well designed, everything's fair, it's just considerably harder for me than any other level in the game. I guess I should mention that the Apex Predator for this mission is Richter, who actually had a little bit of build up since we saw him in the first level. His gimmick is being German and frequently swapping back to it mid-sentence. And when you complete your first step of reactivating the beacon by moving the dish, I really hope you made the stalkers that weren't activated friendly, because the enemy Reapers here are going to make your life hell. These guys can be annoying sons of bitches when you're in a Titan, but when you're on foot, the Robo Baron of Hell will make your life miserable. Once you make your way back to BT, you're going to see him execute an IMC soldier in brutal fashion. It's awesome. Anyways, now we need to fight off some enemies here, and I forgot to mention earlier, but we got the Ronin Core at the start of the mission, allowing you to annihilate the pathetic Gaijin with superior weaponry from Nihon. It's alright. Very much the glass cannon loadout of the game. Overall, it's pretty fun with the arena. The shotgun and the sword core can be a lot of fun to use, but its main gimmick is using stealth to get around places because it cannot take a hit.
It's Sloan.
Go ahead.
Kane and Ash are dead. Someone's been killing your mercs, and it looks like one of our radios has been nicked. I knew you shouldn't have hired those tossers.
Oi, pilot. This is Cuban Blisk. You've been listening to us, eh? You want to be a hero, yeah? Okay. Keep coming at me. Keep coming. But if I were you, I'd stop trying so hard to be a hero. You'll live longer.
So, the Apex Predators are onto us now, and we've got to climb this tower. All I can say is, install that module and get back to the militia ASAP. You know, I've had to do some pretty crazy shit to change out a battery before, but I think this one might just take the cake. Oh shit, I forgot about self-detection!
Got you.
After that awesome scene, all that's left is a Titan combat arena where we fight off some Reapers, followed by two very fragile Titans, and Richter decides he's getting fed up with his soldiers all being jobbers, so he's gonna handle things himself.
Care to have a real fight? Let's see what you got up close and personal. Oder willst du weglaufen, wie ein kleiner Junge?
Ever wonder why we don't shoot these pilots when they're getting out to taunt us? It can't be an honor thing, these guys are mercenaries and we're trying to stop a planet destroying super weapons, so I don't know. I mean, I guess it's obviously so we can have a proper boss fight. Anyways, as far as fights go, Richter's gimmick is that he has none. It's a 1v1 with decent cover against a tone loadout, meaning missiles will fly, but hey, an honest fight against a dude with some of the unintentionally funniest dialogue in the game is great. He starts turning into an Arnold parody before he just starts yelling in German for the remainder of the fight once he drops below 1/3 HP. How is he still talking after he died? What is this Adept Strader bullshit? Anyways, with this fight done, we get to meet Sarah Briggs, and we have a pretty awesome cutscene with BT as, in my opinion, the game's hardest level, the beacon, comes to a close.
BT-7274. Your data recorder says your original pilot was KIA.
Correct. Captain Ty Lastimosa was killed in action. I am now linked to an acting pilot, Rifleman Jack Cooper.
Wait a minute. Lastimosa linked you to a rifleman?
Yes, he had no other options.
Understood. We'll get you transferred to a fully qualified pilot.
Objection. Cooper is my pilot. Our combat effectiveness rating now exceeds 90%. Request permission to retain this link.
You're lucky our backs are up against the wall, BT. Permission granted. That's high praise coming from a machine, Cooper. Thanks to your scan data of the Ark, we've tracked its energy signature to an IMC base right here on Typhon. We don't have much time. Let's go!
Trial by Fire is the shortest level in the game, and the only one that's entirely in a Titan. It's an honest and intense firefight, and not much else. Make no mistake, I think it's entertaining as hell, but there's not nearly as much for me to talk about since there's no real level gimmick other than, I guess, absolute chaos and being in a giant war 9 years before Doom the Dark Ages released. This might also be the hardest level in the game because of that. Sure, you have assistance from friendlies, but they are more or less nameless red shirts that die pretty quickly outside of Sarah. That being said, this level also has some unintentional comedic timing with its dialogue given how nasty the firefights can be, and it kind of reminds me of a, I don't know, Shogo Mobile Armored Division for anyone who remembers that game.
Dodge this.
I can appreciate having a level that's just one massive mech battle that's non-stop action, but at the same time, I think it's for the best that this is the shortest level in the game, because if it was too much longer, it would get downright exhausting. Especially that arena at the end where you're probably going to die a lot because there's just so many Titans firing at you. Really, you could probably ignore most of them, all you have to do is reach the jet to win, but good luck getting there without clearing the way first, as they can straight up body block you from the finish line. Despite how it seems like you're on a time limit here, just calm down, take your time, and take out the enemies to reach the end. Better to take the extra 30 seconds and instead of spending minutes doing the segment over and over again because you got gunned down. While an all Titan level is really cool, there's just not much for me to say about it due to the lack of a boss and just being a very short level in general, so let's just move on to the next one. The Ark might just be the most action-packed level in the game, and it's awesome. This is the one level that, in my opinion, gives Effect and Cause a run for its money. It's a pure adrenaline rush, and it starts by introducing us to the final apex predator that we've yet to meet.
Airborne bogey acquired.
I got you, kid. Brace yourself.
We get saved by a Nathan Drake lookalike, and now we gotta go flying from battleship to battleship. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You can do this, Cooper.
Just like before.
Not exactly. There are significantly more variables to throwing between two moving platforms. Good luck.
Welcome to the 6-4, Coop.
It's time for pure action, as this is your final real on-foot level. The next mission does have plenty of on-foot combat, but, well, you'll see when we get there. The arenas in this area look awesome, and they're filled with plenty of cover and options to slaughter your enemies. Just don't be an idiot because, well, the enemies are still very tough. The main objective at the start is going to be taking out the ship's anti-air cannons on the side of the ship, and once you get them all down, it's simply a matter of mopping up the remaining enemies. Once this first batch of anti-air cannons is taken care of, we get assistance from the 6-4, and I wish these characters had more screen time because it's pretty cool getting to see some friendlies that aren't just a bunch of red shirts. And hey, this could have been fleshed out more in a sequel, but sadly I don't see that happening. You're supposed to be stealthy for this segment here and plan a sneak attack, but honestly, why do stealth when stealth is optional and you can just go in loud and explosive? Keep on fighting and slaughtering your way through the enemies, and remember this isn't a gimmick level, so we can actually go invisible once again, and you want to use this to your advantage to give yourself some brief reprieve from the aggro, and now we're able to take over the Malta. And with that, we're pretty much near the end of the level. I wish I had more to say, but unfortunately, the Ark is one of the shortest levels in the game, though it is a little bit longer than Trial by Fire.
Voodoo 1, Viper's on station. Your journey ends here, pilot. The skies belong to me. Nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide.
Well, about that. This level's got one last fight in the tank. Here, we're battling against Viper on top of the Malta alongside his two Scorch helpers, and guess what? We have a boss fight with multiple phases. Yeah, Phase 1 of the fight is sort of a sniper duel, as both you and Viper are trying to gun down each other from afar, but you'll want to close the gap sooner or later to force him out of his comfort zone, because otherwise his shield's just going to be dragging this fight on for a long time. I guess I could mention that Viper's character quirk is that he's played completely straight. There's no comedically evil edge to him, or funny banter. He's a master of the skies, and he's here to kill you, and he does a pretty good job at it too. Once he drops below half health, he reaches phase 2 of the fight, which becomes a bit of a burn phase, as he'll spend the remainder of the battle in the air, so he's now a lot easier to hit, but he's also a lot more mobile than before, and he's also a lot more aggressive than before, more than happy to spam his core attack as many times as he wishes, and, you know, he's constantly able to get around any cover you can take, so play aggressive in this part.
Viper 1 lost control. I'm losing control. Going down. Mayday, mayday, going down.
Commander Briggs, this is BT-7274. Viper is down.
Copy that. Board the Draconis and secure the Ark. We'll prep for transfer.
Cooper, ready for fastball. Recommend you disembark.
Hey guys, whenever you disembark after killing Viper, be careful not to do it at the edge of the ship. You'll have a very embarrassing death.
Adjusting for wind resistance. Calculating.
And after that, Viper is slain, and we have a scene that I think best speaks for itself.
We are approaching the Ark's containment unit. The containment unit is too large to carry. We must improvise. I cannot reach the Ark. Cooper, I need your help. Quickly, we need to get off the ship. We are running out of time. This way, Cooper.
Get the Ark out of here!
Negative. We are trapped.
What are you doing?
Protocol 3. I will not lose another pilot. Brace for impact.
With no log from Cooper, our final mission begins.
Blisk, your problems are not my concern. Once you have delivered the Ark as per your contract, your payment will be transferred by the IMC.
Just have my money ready. I'll get you your precious cargo, you useless naff. Oi, Titan! You're gonna open up and give me what I want.
Voice command. Not recognized.
Let me just rip it out of him.
Can't risk it. The Ark's unstable. Listen, hero. You have what's mine, and I want it back. Go on. Tell your Titan to open up.
About what? His feelings?
Still trying to be a hero, eh? I have a lot of dots riding on this contract, my friend. So tell your Titan, if he doesn't open up, I will shoot you in the head.
Pilot in jeopardy. Ocular systems. Marginal. Cannot visually acquire pilot.
Stand him up. You see him now? Right here, right here. Yeah? You see him now?
Functions compromised by severe crash damage.
I don't care how broken you are. I know deep down, some things still work in there. Now open up. I'm going to shoot your pilot in the head. You still remember numbers, don't you? I'm going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Nah, that wasn't so hard, was it? That's the problem with teams. If you don't win together, you die together.
Nice try, love. Say goodnight.
Alright, get the Ark out of here! We're running out of time!
Cooper, over here. Cooper, I can no longer uphold the mission. But you still can. Take the seer kit. It is your best chance for survival.
The final level of Titanfall 2 is known as the Fold Weapon, with a simple objective: survive, evade, resist, escape. BT's body was destroyed in the crash and then torn apart by Sloan, and we're left with a pissed off Cooper with a Titanfall 1 smart pistol, also known as the most overpowered weapon in the entire fucking game. There's no log entries for this level, and since we were captured, there's no journal entry from Cooper either. There's no time to stop, just keep on moving, gun down anything and everything in your way. This isn't meant to be some big exploration level, it's a mad dash to the finish where stopping is not an option. Use the most powerful weapon in the Titanfall series and just keep firing. And in the very final level, we finally get the chance to call in a Titan like we were trained all the way back in the tutorial. Put in the new data core and ignore the achievement pop-ups because Origin and Steam were broken back in 2020, as was most of the world, to be honest. This BT isn't the same frame as before, it's even better as it now has the Legion loadout, and there's a reason why you don't get it until the second half of the final level, because it's absolutely broken and destroys everything in your way. Keep firing and slaughtering your enemies with your minigun and your shield. Smart Core is just straight up aimbot, making your bullets never miss so you can slaughter everything. All in all, this isn't a very long level, in fact it might just be the shortest one after Trial by Fire, but make no mistake, this is a considerably more involved level than before, and here we have some insane firefights. It feels a bit more satisfying than some of the other ones because we have a full loadout to just cut through the enemies pretty much on our own until we start getting assisted by characters that aren't just red shirts that exist to die. But after slaughtering about 70% of the IMC's army, we get told that the mercenaries have delivered the Ark, and now we know the fold weapon is targeting Harmony, our home planet, so it's time we put an end to these Apex legends.
You have your money, Blisk. Now go. My forces will take over from here.
That time they do something. I think our militia pilot's trying to be a hero. He's all yours. Keep the salvage.
Who said anything about salvage? I'll do this one for free.
Unfortunately, Blisk is not the final boss because that would have been too awesome, so instead we have to fight Sloane. To be fair, she did blast the shit out of BT and is one of the 2 Apex mercenaries to have some build-up. As for her fight, it's nothing crazy, but it's not bad. She has an Ion Titan, based, and an enhanced laser core that recharges quickly and lasts longer than usual, making her a very dangerous opponent. On top of that, she actually has 3 phases, as she has fixed amount of damage you can deal to her. At first, she's simply fighting alongside some brutes that die quickly before warping away. Then, after losing some more HP, she brings in 2 Titans to attack you, but they're not too difficult to bring down, and after slaying, she'll warp back in. Once she reaches 1/3 health, she warps away, dropping a health pickup before spawning in a bunch of Reapers, and while it sounds like you're on a time limit from the robotic voice, this is a lie for dramatic effect. It's a hard fight, and Sloane does a crap ton of damage, but it can be satisfying, especially when you get to execute her the exact same way that she killed BT. Now, we have one last thing to do. That is shut down the Ark, so this terrible power can't be used on Harmony.
Attempting to restore ocular systems.
We fired everything at the fold weapon. No effect on target.
Ocular systems restored. My analysis is throw. Warning. Hostile Titan detected.
It's your lucky day, hero. I'm not going to kill you. I don't work for free. But you don't get to kill me either. Yeah, you earned this, eh?
Blisk, that Vanguard-class Titan is still in there.
Not my problem, Marta. Should have put it in my contract. I've got other people with money to see.
What are you doing? What do you think you are doing?
My analysis indicates that the throw is our only option. Is our only option. Our only object. The throw is our only option. Cooper, I require your assistance. My auto-navigation systems are offline. Get me into that injector assembly. We must do this together.
Signal. BT, Cooper, our ground teams can't make it there in time. You've got to find a way to destroy the fold weapon from the inside. There's no other way.
Commander Briggs, I believe I have a solution. In its exposed state, my reactor core may be able to destabilize the Ark at the center of the fold weapon.
What are you saying?
We can blow it up. I'm sending you coordinates for a dropship rendezvous.
Coordinates received. We'll be there, but I don't see how you can.
Trust me, I have done the math.
I sure as hell hope so. We're on our way. Good luck, both of you. Briggs out.
Don't worry, BT. I'm not going anywhere.
Copy that, pilot. Protocol 3. Protect the pilot.
BT, what are you doing?
Trust me.
BT!
Marking your HUD with the coordinates. The evac site might be in midair. There's nothing we can touch down on here.
And if I'm flying through this shit show, you better be there on time, kid.
Move, pilot!
No time to mourn, we have to run for it. So prepare for some intense parkour, as all that's left is to hit the road, Jack.
I'm tracking you. Keep going. That's it. You're almost there. Move, move! Cooper, jump for it!
Got a visual!
Come on, pilot! Marcus, get us out of here!
Hang on!
I say cry.
Pilot Cooper. A lot of people owe their lives to you. And to BT. Barker, set a course for Harmony. Take us home.
You got it.
Ninth Fleet, this is Harmony Command. Good to have you back. Welcome home. The destruction of Typhon saved the planet Harmony. The militia calls this planet their headquarters, but millions of others call it home. Commander Briggs says I'll be inducted into the Marauder Corps and assigned a new Titan. After the techs wipe what's left of my neural link with BT. I don't know what that'll feel like, to get assigned a new Titan. I kinda like the old one. Great job on Titanfall, to all of you. This is Pilot Jack Cooper, signing off.
Titanfall 2 is, in my opinion, a near-perfect first-person shooter campaign. The worst level in the game is good. The worst boss in the game is still decent. Cooper and BT are some amazing protagonists, the story is simple but very well written, and it's got some fairly memorable characters and lines that I'm still seeing quoted to this day, nearly a decade later. And this is to say nothing of the game's amazing multiplayer mode, which I didn't even touch in this video because, well, that's not really what I focus on in my videos, personally. It's a fantastic game, and I wish we'd get a follow-up that isn't just a battle royale that people cared increasingly less and less about as time went on. But sadly, it seems like something happened at Respawn, and I can't say it's a good thing, because while Apex coming out as a battle royale during the genre's craze makes sense, I gotta ask, who the hell is asking for High Guard? I don't know if that game will be good or not, but I have to ask, why would they hype the game up as the big reveal at the Game Awards if it's just another fucking hero shooter when Respawn already had a hero shooter called Titanfall 2? That's what those mechs were. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. This game kicks all kinds of ass, and it goes on sale relatively often. If you haven't played it yet, I think you owe it to yourself to do so. It's personally one of my favorite video games, and I think maybe the best first-person shooter ever made, and I had a blast revisiting it for this video. That being said, I would definitely look into the North Star tool so you can avoid having to use Origin if you're playing on PC. Anyways, that's all I've got for this video. If you like it, want to see more content of varying quality, consider liking and subscribing. I've got plenty of videos ranging from boss and level rankings, as well as other long-form videos covering these games in their entirety. And on that note, take care, everyone. Well, that sure was an interesting teaser. Too bad it ain't gonna go anywhere.